Hi, it's Diana, and I'm in my kitchen about to do bagels. Okay, I say about, and that just means that here I am in my kitchen. I have nothing gathered yet. I'm gonna do that. But remember, we're doing the foods. You might not remember. If you didn't see the first video, that's okay. Jalapeno bagels. So I'm gonna make the bagels. I'm gonna use the recipe that's in the book. I think it's really cool when a book includes a recipe because it's an acknowledgement that the food is important. And I mean, the food is the title. It's very important in this one. So there are not many ingredients. Water, I do have water. Yeast, I have yeast. I need to gather it. Salt, sugar, flour. Now the flour is like 5 to 6 cups. So I regularly have flour because I like to bake. Not that I always bake, but I like to, so I like to be ready. If the mood strikes, I want to be ready. 1/3 cup of chopped jalapenos. I'm gonna have to chop the jalapenos. It's really good to wear gloves when chopping jalapenos or any kind of hot pepper because it does get in the skin. And then 1/4 cup of dried red peppers. That one is the sticking point. I do not have dried red peppers, and I elected to not buy them, and I'm going to put in red pepper flakes, which is probably not right. I chopped my jalapenos. Okay, I'm gonna smell it. I'm just gonna smell. Okay, it smells good. Not that it wouldn't smell good, but if I cut the tops off, and sometimes when I put them in the garbage disposal, if I do that, and I turn the garbage disposal, there's a mist of, not like a visible mist, but I can smell the pepper, and sometimes it gets into my throat. Anyway, I have my bowl of flour. It says 5 to 6 cups, so I have 5 cups in here, and then I have a 6th cup here, and I'm going to use it when I need the bread, because I don't want to add it if it's not necessary. And here I have my water and sugar and yeast. It says to put the salt in here, but from what I've learned, or remember I've learned from watching the Great British Bake Off, is that salt can kill yeast. So I'm not putting the salt in there. I will put the salt in with the flour. And I could have that wrong, but that's what I remember. So flour, I'm gonna put the salt, I gotta get my measuring spoons. So I'm gonna put my salt in, but just to one side, 2 teaspoons, just to one side. Okay, so, yeah, I just inhaled the jalapenos. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. All right, it says, reading from the book, to mix the water salt thing, and I already talked about that, and then add flour and jalapenos and mix into a ball. So instead of that, because my water is in a tiny thing, I put the flour in a big thing. I'm going to make a well in the flour, since I'm not using my mixer. Why am I not using my mixer? Because I'm not. The recipe doesn't stick. All right, I'm putting the jalapenos in. That's kind of strange to me, but okay. Oh, yeah, man. Okay. What's really happening? All right, here we go. Hands in. Hands in. Ooh, it's a little sloppy right now. This is why I don't want to touch I'm not going to want to touch my camera. Okay, so I have my ball of dough. And look, it looks like well, the red is not as red, but in the book, when I looked at it, I said, oh, they look like Christmas. This is the raw dough. It looks like Christmas with the red and green. There's several things that the recipe from the book doesn't include, and from what I remember about making bagels. So anyway, I kind of did a supplement. It does say to boil the bagels in the recipe, and I'm not to that point yet. I still have just a lump of dough. But what I remember from bagels is that I thought there had to be baking soda in the water, and apparently not everybody does it, but I'm going to do it. So I'm adding to the recipe baking soda in the water. The other thing that while investigating that, because I wanted a ratio with how much water I'm using, The other thing is to put semolina, or I don't have specifically semolina. I have cornmeal, so I'm going to put cornmeal on the bottom of my pans, and I'll give the bagels that little crunchy cornmeal. It's really, I think, to keep them from sticking. Another thing that several recipes had was they also added sugar to the water, to the boiling water, which I'm still on the fence. Like, okay, what would that add to jalapeno bagels? So part of me doesn't want to do it, and then part of me is like, but it says to do it in the recipe, and I don't really know enough to not do it. So it doesn't say in the book recipe, but it did in the recipe that I read from Cooks Illustrated, that like my go-to, that I got the ratio for the soda. That's a long explanation. Right now, where I am with the dough is I need to take this dough and make it into 12, and I am going to. And I'll give you, this is just a lot of information that has nothing to do with bagels. I'm going to use my food scale, and I'm going to, so I am going to weigh my bagels to try to get them to be kind of, okay, they're not bagels now, they're just lumps of dough. I'm also not using a knife. It said use a knife. I'm using a thing I use to kind of cut dough. So I'm not going to talk to you the whole time I do that. It's not going to be very interesting. But that's after I do that, then I'll be shaping the little dough, and I'll get back to you. I think I have 14 instead of 12. I could have made them a little, anyway, I'm not gonna. It's also storming outside. It's a really good day to bake. I like baking when it's raining outside. Now comes the shaping. No, I haven't done bagels before, that's right. So I'm supposed to roll each one into it says cigar shape, and then I'm rolling as I talk. And then join the ends together. Ooh, it's raining. By putting I could also put the book down, that would be helpful. Make a long cigar shape, and then put the two ends together and roll them. And I think I would have a little bit of trouble with these directions, except I've seen it done before. Guess where? On the Great British Bake Off. So I have a sausage shape. It's not even, like this is the... And then it says to put them together like this. So I put it together and then roll that. These two pieces have a nice coating of flour on them. I don't see how they're going. I'm smooshing them together. I'm smooshing because I don't see them rolling together. Ooh, speaking of flour, so I said that I put the five cups, because it said 5 or 6 cups. I put the 5 cups in the bowl and then had the 6th cup in reserve in case I needed it for kneading, and I didn't. So I did not use that cup, and I was glad I held it to the side. Okay, this is tenuous. It's like there. Okay, you can't see. Remember, Diana, that doesn't. I don't know if you can see it. I can still see where they're not together. So I'm going to turn off the camera and I'm going to work on this, because if I put it in the boiling water as it is, it will come apart. Okay. Okay. Oh, look, I'm bathed in light. Ooh. So. I'm also thinking, I don't think I'm in, but I see it. I'm in a different set. I'm still talking about that. My bagels, they don't look like, I mean, they do look like bagels, but they're more like dough right now. My dough rings are rising. They need to rise for an hour and a half about, and it's kind of cool in my house, so maybe a little longer than that. And then I'll boil them, and then I'll bake them. So it's gonna be. I just lifted the cling film a little bit, and I can smell the jalapenos. It really smells good. So when the water boils, then I'll start that process. That's what. Okay, everybody's been boiled. I don't know how they look. We shall see. And the next thing to do is to bake them. It's very hot in here. I'm a little bit unsure of what the result will be. I want to be excited, but right now I'm just unsure. I'll move into excited later. I just pulled them out of the oven, and they look pretty darn good. It also smells, I can smell the jalapeno hot to eat right now. And they look a little, like some of them look a little, I can see how, look at that. I can see how I the dough kind of split where I didn't make it. I'm pretty sure I got impatient with my rolling of cigar shapes. So they look really good. I ended up with 14, even more than a baker's dozen. I'm so excited. I can't wait to try Pablo's Jalapeño Bagels. Here I am again. And I'm just going to cut the bagel. I'm just going to try it, even though. So this is how I like my bagels. I like them very fat with a tiny hole. As opposed to, say, this one that's thin all around with the bagel. I don't know why. I think because this looks cute to me. Anyway, I'm going to, still warm, smells good, cutting into it. Even if they're not quite done, this is what I'm telling myself. I could toast them and it'll be okay. Ooh, the inside is warm. It looks a little doughy to me. I'm no expert. But it also feels dense like a bagel's supposed to. Okay, so we're not doing a bread testing show. I am not Paul Hollywood. I wouldn't know what I was poking for anyway. So, oh gosh, it just looks so. Okay, I'm gonna taste it. The heat's coming now. I could actually take a little more though, I think. But these are great. I'm so excited. I'm just wonderful, excited. Okay, we'll do analysis next time. Bye.